Hello guys and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to give you a guide on how to learn programming in the right way. So if you are a student or a competitive programmer or just someone who want to learn programming and pursue a career in IT field, so yes, this video is for you. So stick to the video till the end. So as we all know, there is a very high demand of programmers, developers and data scientists that attracts many people to join this field of IT. But most often, newcomers try to take the fast track to the learning process. But here comes the problem. Rushing the learning process is not always a good thing. In fact, sometimes people tend to skip over some very important aspects of field in their attempt to shorten the learning period, or because they might find them intimidating. So regardless of your career target, whether you want to be a software developer, web developer or data scientist, all IT based careers share one thing in common, and that is the programming knowledge. So in this video I'm going to tell you the top 5 steps that I believe the correct approach to learn program. So before we start, I just wanted to clarify one thing, that I'm not going to talking about how to program in a specific language. Rather, I'll be talking about how to develop the intuition and the thought process of solving programming question. Being a programmer is more than just sitting in front of computer clicking rapidly on bunch of keys. When a programmer is given a programming question, sitting down writing code is probably the last step. So this is where comes the first step of learning the programming in a right way, is learn to solve the problem logically first. So I know this sounds pretty old-fashioned, solving the problem logically using pen and paper. If you have watched my previous video, whenever I make programming videos for a beginner, I always start by explaining the logic behind the problem first, and then we get into the coding. If you want to develop your programming intuition, the first step is learn to read the problem carefully, find the details of exactly what you need to do, what your inputs are and what your expected outputs is supposed to be. What you have to do is get a pen and paper, start solving the problem, and then you can proceed further. So our second step is study of algorithms and data structure. Many beginners and even some experienced programmers avoid learning data structure and algorithms because they believe it's complicated and not useful in real applications. Although you could arguably go somewhat far in your career without a solid knowledge of algorithm and data structure, having a good hold of these concepts will strengthen your knowledge base and allow you to be a better programmer. Learning algorithm and data structure will help you to improve your logical thinking. So our next step is learning the basics of complexity theory. Complexity theory is one of the vital aspects that you should be familiar. Complexity theory describes how well an algorithm performs with respect to the size of input and how it is implemented. When you're working on a real life application trying to tackle many problems, you always need to keep in mind your answer's complexity. For example, if I gave you a book and asked you to open page number 5, you can simply go through pages 1 to 5 because 5 is pretty near the beginning. But if I say I want you to open page number 999, so this will probably take a little bit more time, right? So that's what complexity theory describes. Wait, it is not the time to learn the specific programming language yet, but you are almost there. You have solved many problems, developed your intuitions, and know the basics of algorithm and data structure. So now you must be wanted to start coding and build some cool project. So before you do that, my advice is to implement your algorithm and problem solving skills using pseudocodes. Pseudocode is nothing but just a plain language description of the steps in any algorithm. So let's say if you are working in a big company and you have created an awesome algorithm to solve some real world problems, but to implement that algorithm, you first have to explain how does the algorithm actually work. So for that, pseudocode is used. So finally, our favorite part, the actual coding and solving problem. using a particular programming language. For that, you first have to learn syntax of any programming language. So according to Wikipedia, there are more than 700 programming language out there. Not all of them are well known and used today, but you can pick any one of the popular language and learn just the syntax. So at this point, you might ask yourself which programming language to start with. But here let me tell you, the good news is all programming languages are fundamentally same. This means if you followed my steps of learning, then you must have a well-developed programming intuitions. You can apply it to any programming language. You just have to learn its syntax. I want you to think of different programming languages as just a different way to say the same thing. For example, I want to say that there is a nice garden in my house, or I can probably say that there's a beautiful garden in my house, or I can say that I absolutely love the garden near my house. All programming languages have same vocabulary, variables, loops, data type, conditional statement, etc. All they have different is a slight way of writing. That's it. Regardless of your target career path, if you want to build an IT career, you'll need to learn and be good at programming. Although there are many ways you can follow, but this is my personal opinion to learn the programming in a right way. So if you've enjoyed watching the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. Thank you.